This is the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Yes. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoy the show, and I can't thank you enough for listening. I also can't thank the Butcher Shop enough for bringing you this episode. The Butcher Shop is purveyors of highly sought-after 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvara briskets, and as always, they're handpicked for you. The Butcher Shop has been retailing the finest meats for more than 15 years. Every week, they're shipping out competition-quality meats to many of the biggest teams across the nation. Simply put, teams who use the Butcher Shop win, they win often, and they win big. You may not be a competitor, but I know you have an eye for the finer cuts. Great news, the Butcher Shop is shipping some of the finest prime, dry-aged Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings and queens of the cul-de-sac. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock. And again, it is always hand-picked for you. Now, you might be saying, John, that sounds great, but I'd like to try something totally different. Rest easy knowing the Butcher Shop can get you an elk steak. They can get you a camel roast. Who knows what other cool, crazy, exotic stuff they can get you. So let's review the best competition briskets, check. The best pork selection, check. Giving you a better overall option to cook in the backyard, check. Give the Butcher Shop a call today, 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. Be sure that you mention the BBQ Central Show, and they're going to give you 10% off your entire order each and every time. You can also check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/The Butcher Shop. Shop is spelled SHOPPE. The Butcher Shop, home of the 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvara briskets. And what's going on today, we're going to take a jump back to 2016, and Greg is going to visit with Dr. Barbecue, Mr. Ray Lampe.
Let me ask you about brisket on a high level here, and I do have another great brisket cook coming up behind you here at 9:35 in Dave Boskin. I may or may not have a neighbor that attempted a brisket yesterday, and they really want to place a lot of fault in the beef. And I wasn't there to watch the whole thing. I'm getting kind of the second hand, so I want to believe he was doing it right from the guidance I gave him the last time. But can you get a bad cut of meat that no matter how you cook it, it is just going to be tough? Maybe the flavor's there. I mean, the flavor was really good. It looked good. It was just, boot leather tough, especially in the middle. The ends were okay. But can you just have a cut of brisket that is not going to be relenting no matter how good of a cook you are, or no matter what you do to it?
I think no. It doesn't mean there can't be one somewhere, but the guys that are good brisket cooks, now everybody cooks Wagyu and stuff, but those restaurants like Kreitz's and Louis Mueller and them old places, they weren't always cooking high-grade meat. And they got them right all the time. Competition guys, we used to buy them at Sam's Club or wherever you could find and cook them. And, we would cook too because sometimes one would be a little different than the other. But in general, I actually screwed one up recently myself. And Sandy was like, she said the same thing, was it a bad piece of meat? And I said, no, I'm pretty sure I just screwed it up. So, I think that's excuse.
Can you counter where some would say, hey, it's going to be, I'm getting a Wagyu or, such and such brisket that's really high level, and you're automatically going to assume it's going to be great? Is it also a fallacy to believe that if a brisket is $20 and the next one on the shelf is $40, that the 20 or 40 is going to give you lesser or better of a product?
Well, I'll even tell you that a cheaper one might be better, because the whole concept of brisket is you take this tough piece of meat and you break down the collagen, and you've got then this gelatinous thing like cooking short ribs or stuff like that. When they break down, it turns into this beautiful thing. And I don't know that a Wagyu brisket actually that ever really happens. You can get it tender and it'll be good, but more along the line of a piece of roast beef or a steak than a brisket to me. So I don't think it's automatically. You might have to cook it a little different. I don't necessarily think it's better, though. I think, in the competition world, I'm actually going to cook in Plant City in November I'll go buy a high dollar brisket even after saying that, because that's what everybody else is cooking. Mine wouldn't be the same as that, and that's what the judges are sort of accustomed to. But no, I don't think that at all. I think you can take a cheap brisket and still make it be good.
Ray Lampe joining me here on the show. I apologize for you indulged me, and I appreciate it, but let's go ahead and get to some of these Facebook questions. First one from Brandon Nelson. Best way to smoke chicken wings without turning rubbery? The skin, I assume he imagines.
I missed my cue. How did I miss my cue? That's embarrassing, but I'm going to roll with it. Hey, you want to find out what Ray has to say about rubbery chicken wings? It's always good when Ray talks chicken. It's very enjoyable. You head over to the BBQCentralShow.com right now. He's the first guest in the show. There's a link in the show notes to take you to this show. Give that a punch. Listen to it. Great stuff, always from Dr. Barbecue. One of my faves. Of course, have you ever noticed that everybody on the show is like one of my faves? Maybe I got a problem. I don't think so. I don't think it's a problem at all. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks so much for listening. And until next time on the Best Moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I'm your host, John Solberg. I look forward to talking to you again soon.